Hi, thank you for watching us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and consider other important aspects of working for yourself, being self-employed, running a small business. So today I'm going to talk about growth status for subcontractors in the CIS industry. Before I do, if I could please ask you to take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll easily be able to refer back to this information if you should need to, as well as being able to navigate to the other information that we have available on a whole host of different topics, all aimed at supporting you in your self-employment. All of our videos are catalogued into our playlists. Today, presumably as we're talking about CIS subcontractors, if this applies to you, then we have a playlist with lots of useful information, helps and tips for those working in the construction industry. So back then to growth status. So as you will be aware, if you are a subcontractor, your contractor will be making deductions from your labour charges. If you are correctly registered, then this will be at the rate of 20%. If you're not registered, both as a sole trader and that your UTR is noted that you are working as a CIS subcontractor, then in this instance, your rate would be 30% for deductions. As you're aware, as a sole trader, it can be quite handy to have the CIS deductions made, because this prevents you from receiving a big tax bill to make at the end of the tax year. So as a sole trader working in the construction industry scheme, then you will be required at the end of the tax year to submit your self-assessment tax return. And as you will be aware, the deductions that have been made through the CIS scheme will be noted to HMRC on your self-assessment tax return, and at this point they will be moved specifically onto your account and offset against the liability. And if your liability is less than the deductions that have been made, then you will be entitled to receive a rebate for the difference. So if you are working as a limited company and you don't have any payroll costs, then it can be a cash flow issue to be having the deductions, because you have to wait till the end of the tax year if you don't have anything to offset them against, and then write to HMRC and have the deductions made. So this can simply be a cash flow problem, and this is one of the reasons that there is the option to register for growth status. So if you are successful in your application to HMRC for growth status as a CIS subcontractor, then your labour charges still go through the CIS system, but in a similar way to materials and materials that don't have any CIS deductions. Effectively the CIS on your labour, if you're eligible and you're registered for gross status, would be 0. So this can be a way to help the cash flow. Although on the other hand, it does mean then that if you are a sole trader, you will have nothing made on account through the year. So you will have to make provision throughout the year for the tax liability that you will then need to make in full. So it's not the best thing for everybody, but in certain circumstances, you may consider that for you, it would be better for you not to have the CIS deductions suffered throughout the year. And there are some conditions that HMRC require you to meet to be eligible to apply for growth status. And once you apply for growth status, then they will of course check that you do meet these conditions. So the turnover for labour must be £30,000 in it for the last 12 months. So that excludes materials. So you must actually be working actively in the construction industry, and you must have invoiced at least £30,000 of labour in the last 12 months to qualify. Another criteria that is important to mention is that all of your returns for all taxes must be up to date, and you must have consistently been paying all of your different tax liabilities on time. So your income tax, your corporation tax, your VAT, your PAYE, HMRC will expect to see an exemplary tax record, both in terms of returns submitted and payments made on time, before they will consider you for gross status. So if you feel that you meet the criteria, and that considering the things that we talked about earlier, you feel that gross status would be more preferable to you, then I'm going to, in the description, I'm going to pop the link where you can apply for gross status. You can either do that using the form that I'm going to pop in the description, or you can simply phone the CIS helpline to make your application. But as I mentioned earlier, just make sure if you do apply and you are successful, that you won't have the CIS payments on account. So you must then be making provision for the liability to be paid in full when it becomes due, to maintain your gross status. And of course, as you will be aware, it's HMRC that confirm ultimately to your contractor what rate of CIS to be deducting. So if you are successful in achieving gross status for CIS, then you will let your contractor know, who will then be able to recheck with HMRC, who will confirm to them that they can now apply gross status. Now, of course, as always with CIS, remember that it's only then for future payments after the time that they receive that verification for gross status. It won't be applied retrospectively. So hopefully this has helped you to understand, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.